Guys, with another slow week at the box office. The number one movie is The Renaissance, a film by Beyonce. There was no reported budget for this, so the movie probably is a successful movie. It has made $21 million and is one of the more successful concept movies. It is in one of the movies of yore. It didn't do as well as, of course, a Taylor Swift movie. But again, Taylor Swift is a much more popular artist than Beyonce by far. Okay, much more popular artist by far than Beyonce is, but the movie should still do well considering it probably had a small budget as well. So yeah, I'm not tracking this movie because there's no reported budget for this movie. So yeah, next is The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This movie is gonna break even. It's only at a negative $7 million, which means the movie is more than likely gonna break even. So much for the Hunger Games Ballad of Songs and Snakes flop narrative, because this movie still has to yet to release in Japan. It has released everywhere else except for Japan, so it'll probably make money in Japan. Japan is a big market, obviously. It's the only market that has not released in. So it has released everywhere else except for Japan. So that means this movie is gonna make money. So much for on day one when the movie came out. For all of these videos, okay, Fairy, A Tale of Two Flops, or Hunger Games response to Hunger Games flop as media has meltdown over failure. Okay, this is a new Hunger Games bad, but again, that's a different video. He just doesn't like the movie Penguin Zero. That's his opinion. But Hunger Games could be a massive flop. Hunger Games review bombs. With Hunger Games Power Songbirds and Snakes flops. Okay. Ziegler the story is gonna drop 31% according to Benny Johnson. Hunger Games rated flop for prequel. Ziegler destroys Hunger Games, makes no money. We have all these fans hate this movie. Okay. Ziegler dooms another film. Okay. Hunger Games is done. Start to flop. Okay. And the biggest flop in franchise history. Okay. Yet the movie is still set to break even. I guess the biggest flop in history will still break even and make money. Okay. It really shows you. Okay, yes, it isn't doing as well as the previous entries in the series, but the budget is only $100 million. Okay, the movie, its third weekend, went from basically, oh, it's gonna flop to, oh, it might actually make money because over the Thanksgiving, okay, the movie has made a lot of money on that weekend. Okay, it has made a lot of money on the Thanksgiving week. Okay, made a lot of money. Okay, being out Disney, being out, everyone else. And still, it is the number one movie. Of course, the Beyonce movie probably is still beating the Hunger Games. But they don't have the numbers for the weekend numbers for the Beyonce movie. But probably is still number two. Either way. But this movie is still gonna make money. It's still gonna break even, which for these people in the fandom menace are gonna be unhappy to hear that this movie is not a failure. Yes, I don't care with the Hunger Games, but this movie is not a failure. Okay, like the Marvels is. Okay, we'll get to the Marvels later. Okay. Next is Godzilla -1. This movie is going to probably break even next weekend, similar to the Hunger Games. This movie only costed $15 million to make. Something that Hollywood should learn from, okay, is a smaller budget movies. Okay, this movie only costed $15 million to make. It is considered one of the better Godzilla movies, and it's going to probably break even as well. All the international sales is from Japan, so I almost said China, but this movie, almost all the international sales is from Japan. So, yeah, the movie is doing very, very well. Trolls Band Together is looking to continue to be a massive failure at the box office. Not as bad as Risk, but this movie will still be a small loss for Universal, which means this IP, it might as well be a dead IP. Trolls might as well be a dead franchise, which finally we don't have to see this IP anymore. I hate Trolls. I hate this franchise. It can finally die off like it deserves. Next is Risk, which is continuing to do poorly. The international numbers are doing poorly for this movie as well. Made $81 million, and this movie dropped 62%, falling to number 5, which is pretty funny. This is supposed to be the big Disney movie, but nobody cares about it because it's a bad movie. No one wants to see it. They don't have updated international sales, but yeah, Risk is still a massive failure. Alongside Napoleon, was they have updated the international numbers to 146 million. But this movie, again, if we're going by box office numbers alone, this movie is a massive failure, of course. But this and The Killers of the Flower Moon are supposed to be, extras, because they're really we're only supposed to be on Apple TV. But these movies are kind of like the nebulous movies, okay? Kind of like Turning Red. Like, you can't really call Turning Red a box office flop because it only launched like 5 markets, okay? But Napoleon, okay, is still doing better than Killers of the Flower Moon. So we can give it at least this movie some credit. It's still doing better than the Marvels and Dial of Destiny as well, okay? But yeah, this movie isn't doing too well, all things considered. Next is Animal, which I think it's an Indian movie. Yeah, I think it's an Indian movie. It's doing alright. Okay, given that there's no major movies, it is doing pretty alright. I don't know the budget for the movie. Say they have this movie called The Sift, which is also by Angel Studios. Yes, this is the 3rd movie, and it's doing pretty alright. Right? Not doing, of course, the Sound of Freedom numbers, but Sound of Freedom seems to be the exception rather than the norm. But this movie probably has a small budget, all things considered, as well. Okay, Silent Night. The budget is not known for Silent Night. This is another movie. This is basically like similar to Violent Night, but again, there's nobody is really caring about this movie. I haven't seen a single advertisement for this movie. Okay, this movie wasn't really advertised as much. Okay, so Silent Night wasn't really as advertised as much. Okay, I didn't see a single ad for this movie. Okay, but there's no budget report for this movie, so I guess we can't track Silent Night. But probably is around 30 to 40 million, which means this movie is a flop. Next is Thanksgiving, which has made $46 million globally, which means next week, alongside Godzilla and Hunger Games, will probably break even. Next is The Marvels. Yes. This movie is a massive failure. It will probably pass $200 million globally, but this movie is doing okay. You gotta compare this to Black Widow. Okay, everybody said, "Oh my God, Black Widow is such a flop." Okay, Black Widow is such a failure. Okay, remember that whole thing against that movie? It's an okay movie. It wasn't anything special, but this is the opening of Black Widow. 80 million. Okay, The Marvels barely passed the opening of Black Widow. Wow. Okay, that's awful. Okay, it barely is passing the Black Widow opening. Okay, again, we can also do a compare it to another movie. Okay, Alita Battle Angel came out in 2019. Okay, The Marvels is performing just the same as that movie. Okay, and given the legs of The Marvels, okay, let's get rid of Black Widow out of this comparison. Okay, The Marvels opened higher than Alita Battle Angel. Okay, it opened higher, 46 million to 28 million. Okay, but the movie is having worse legs. Okay, it's having worse legs than Alita Battle Angel. This is a whole other level of failure for the Marvels. Okay, it's of course unadjusted for inflation. So if you adjust Alita for inflation, okay, the Marvels is doing worse than Alita. Yes, the Marvels is doing worse than Alita because Alita opened at the same time as the Marvels. Okay, Alita Battle Angel is doing better, had better legs than the Marvels. Okay, it's having better legs than the Marvels ever did. Okay, and the Flash as well. We can add in the Flash. Okay, it's doing worse. Okay, it's doing worse than the Flash. Okay, these are awful numbers for Marvel. Okay, and this is for a 214 to $274 million budget movie. Okay, the numbers is using a $274 million budget movie. It makes this the biggest box office failure in all of history. Okay, that's how bad this movie is performing. Okay, and Disney can say it's a pandemic all they want, but we can talk about all of the successful movies this year. Okay, we have the box office pulled up. Didn't stop the Taylor Swift movie. Didn't stop FNAF, which I don't think it's even in theaters anymore. Okay, it's not gonna stop the Hunger Games, which is gonna break even next weekend. Okay. It didn't stop The Exorcist, Paw Patrol, Saw, Nun 2, Equalizer 3. Okay, a Booby flop. That was like I prefer that Booby, but it didn't stop The Meg. Okay. And any movie that's like a negative or something, very low numbers of negative, it's a wash. It's it doesn't really matter. The wash will be made up by streaming. Okay. Barbie, Talk to Me, Oppenheimer, okay, Insidious, The Sound of Freedom, okay, Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse here, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mario, okay, and go back to last year when the pandemic was more prevalent, okay, it didn't stop a lot of these movies like Rhoda Crawdad Sing, okay, Minions made $700 million, okay, in that game. Of course, a lot of that goes to the feeders, but Jurassic World Dominion, okay. Oh, wait, that doesn't count. That's a 2019 movie. But Doctor Strange, Top Gun making $1 billion in net profits, okay. Sonic 2, okay. The Bad Guys, okay. Everything Ever All at Once. Go even further back with the Batman, okay. Avatar, okay. And then we have No Way Home. Once, during the height of, I think, Omnicron, and that movie made a lot of money. Okay, it made a lot of money. Okay. Yeah, these continue to do horribly. Okay, horribly. Okay, the Marvels continues. Okay, Dream Scenario. We're gonna get the last movies over with. Dream Scenarios by A24. It's considered a pure comedy movie by Nicolas Cage. And that's doing pretty well with only like 10 feet, like 100 feeters. Saltburn. And The Holdovers, continuing to hold over at the box office as well. So, I think this will be the last week we have to talk about The Holdovers. But yeah, the movie I did pretty well for its 4 or 5 week span. Yeah, that's about this video here. Goodbye.